Sir, just give me an hour, just an hour, and I will be out of your hair. Well, hello, sunshines. I hope that you all are doing well. Mr. Rooster gave you a proper introduction. I'm over here in his territory again, near his gate. So he will probably be sounding off, okay? But anyways, I have been eager to finish this project. So we're going to finish this project over here in this new bed that we started just yesterday, actually, for me. So I was able to get to the garden center and pick up some items. I got some mulch and I got some new plants to go in this space. I have been waiting for this plant to go on clearance because I wanted more than one, and it was $20, but I got some Astilbe, and I went yesterday and it was on clearance, and I'm hoping I can split this. I did get 2 of these, and they had there was some in the store that had their blooms. Of course, we know they have this beautiful, well, not all of them have a pink bloom. Some of them have purple, some of them have white, I think, but this one has a beautiful pink bloom. And as you can see, it is it's very healthy. The blooms are just done, so, and it's heavy. Let me just put it right here. And then I was able to pick up, I know, my love-hate relationship with rhododendron. Can you believe I got this rhododendron? But I think it's going to be great in this space. It is a different type of rhododendron, as you can see, a different structure. It has these beautiful pink flowers when it does bloom, and it only gets 2 feet high and 2 feet wide. And so I want to put it in this space. I thought it would be nice, and I was like, I cannot believe I'm buying rhododendron. But this one, like I said, is different. It's not going to get big, tall, and I think it'll be great in this space. Okay, let's just sit it here. And I got that other Astilbe. And then, would you believe, a hosta. This hosta was just so pretty to me. And the interesting thing is all their hostas are on clearance. And I was talking to the gentleman in the store, as I often do, and he just basically said they're going to be soon going to their final home, which means the trash can, because nobody's buying them. And so this one is called a Sunset Groves hosta, and it will get, it won't be that big, I guess. 12 to 16 feet high. Actually, yeah, 20 to 24 inches wide. So 12 to 16 inches. Did I say feet? Inches high and 20 to 24 inches wide. So it'll get a decent size, but isn't she pretty? And she has a bloom. I'm just gonna go cut these off. And then I did save this rhododendron because I told you it had new growth. So I cleaned it up, I saved it, and I said, why not? What is it, what is it gonna hurt if I plant it? So I'm just planted over there with the other one. And I do have a couple of more plants that are inside of a garden bed that I know I'm going to take from. I have perennials in the garden bed, and I'm going to be transferring them out into the different garden spaces, as we enter fall, which we are nearing. And so what I want to do first today, and I did pick up the mulch. I did get the mulch. I don't know if I have enough, but I got it. And I also was able to gather some stones to create the path I want to do. And the reason I want to create the path is, before I plant these up, is because it's just going to help me have like a foundation, or, create some structure of where I don't want to kind of go into. I hope that made sense. Like the space that I just want to kind of keep clear. So let's get the stones down, plants in the ground, and mulch down in that order. Okay, so hopefully you all can see the vision. So this is the first stepping stone in order to enter. I'm not trying to get wheelbarrows or anything like that through here. I don't think I need to do that, but just like a pathway to lead to the back. So I know these stones are a little darker, so you really can't see them. So I might have to try to find some different ones, but it's okay. But this also helps me to to know where to plant and where not to. And so I still have a whole lot of space over here to plant up things. And then if I want, I could come in here with maybe a row of hostas, something that really doesn't need a lot of sun. And then we'll still have this pathway to guide us. Or maybe nothing will go here. So we'll see. But that is the first thing I wanted to get in so I can like have this little guide. So I'm liking it. It's just those two in the back. They're really, I would prefer them to be lighter like this so you can see, but I'll find some other stones. They're all over the property, so I just kind of grab them and put them in. So now let's position some of these plants, see what we're going to do with them so we can get those in the ground. And I will say the only plant that kind of got some stress after the planting yesterday was this Weigela. This Weigela right here was inside of the pot, and remember I said it was doing great, but I think because it was really in the pot and really rooted, and I had to and I really disturbed it, that's why I think that it kind of it's sad. But I gave it some water and I think it'll be fine. Everything else is looking great. Okay, placement. Well, I know where the rhododendron's going, so let's do that first. The tree. know that might have been brutal for some of you all to watch me take that astilbe apart like that, but I knew when I saw this astilbe a few weeks ago, and I knew I was doing this project, I knew exactly what I wanted to do with it. That's why I was waiting for it to go on clearance. Because I knew it was going to be dividable and all the things. And I wanted to line this with something pretty that can take some shade. And astilbe is a part sun, part shade plant. And you all know that this astilbe, this side, I mean, gets later sun. So yeah. So let's see what survives. I'm going to water them in at the end. I'm going to go and grab, I know I have, I believe it is what I want to put over here. Let me grab it and I'll talk about it after I get it. Okay, so what I grabbed was this Godzilla fern. I had it in a pot or in a raised bed, and it was because it was doing so bad. I originally had it in the part sun, part shade garden where the tree was sucking up all the, you know, the moisture or whatever. And before I moved the other ones, I had already moved this one because this is the one that was really doing really bad. Now it's doing excellent. And so I want to stick it over here. I also have lamb's ear. Now, if you think that hosta are easy to divide and they grow big and fast, you haven't met lamb's ear. Because I'm all for dividing hosta and I still think they do great and they're great dividable, but I literally just pulled these out the raised bed and they had mega roots and they have gotten big, and just simply took my hand and divided them, like, and then put them back in. And I'll go back and water them and I'm sure they're going to be fine. But I think I got about like 6 or 7 of these and I want to line them here. I also have been paying attention to in front of the chicken run outside of the garden bed, because these are native ferns. I don't know what you want to call them, and I know that they will spread, but I saw these and I was like, oh my gosh, I want those. I know they used to be in the woods, but I don't mind them spreading back here in this area. And so the last time I saw them, I actually cut them down accidentally with the weed whacker. And that was I don't know, a few weeks ago. So today when I was using a weed whacker again in order to, you know, clean up these lines, I saw it and I was like, oh shoot, and I remembered. So I think I got like 3 or 4 of them, and so I'm gonna tuck those in back there. But before I tuck in the lamb's ear and the ferns, I don't really want them to get lost with the mulch. I'm gonna tuck in this fern right here, this Godzilla or Japanese painted fern. I'm gonna tuck that one in right here, and then I'm going to start with the sheet mulching. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start sheet mulching, and then maybe not. Well, I'll be sure I know what to do, because when you do sheet mulch, it will be hard for me to, like, I do have my hori if I use this cardboard, but I do have some paper bags. Paper bags work wonders, especially if you want to dig right away. Paper bags and things like that. Anyways, I'm gonna get everything in, and then we're gonna just talk about everything at the end, and we're gonna do a final walkthrough and all the things. Let me just set the camera up and just get to work. So here we are, guys. That's a tedious process. Yeah, it took me about, I don't know, 45 minutes or so to an hour. And it's probably because I just wasn't prepped. And when I say prepped, normally when I know I'm going to do like a sheet mulching project or something like that, I leave the cardboard out in the elements, but we haven't had a lot of rain. And so when you leave the cardboard out in the elements and you get rain, and especially if you do it over winter and snow and stuff, it's going to start breaking that cardboard down and making it more manageable. And so where I had to and I didn't have the boxes all the way broke down. There's a young lady, I don't know the name of her channel, but I know her name is Whitney. And what she does with her cardboard when she's going to sheet mulch is she'll take like her wheelbarrow, I think, or a gorilla cart, and she'll soak her cardboard. And when she does that, it makes it so much more pliable. So that's another thing you can do. I didn't do that. And then, as you can see, I use a mixture of cardboards and bags. And you know how your packaging, like from Amazon or something, might come with this, I don't know what you want to call it, but this paper, brown paper. I'll put that down. I'll use like the paper and the bags to kind of like fill in the gaps, because I tried my best, but one of the things you want to do is, like, for instance, where I stuck this piece of cardboard is like this piece of paper. You don't want to have any gaps between the you see how that has holes, so technically I should put a piece of paper or a paper bag under there, kind of like I did over here, because where weeds can find light, that's what they'll do, and that's how they'll come through. I'm not worried about it. It wasn't too many weeds over here. This part did have a lot. I did go ahead and put in the lamb's ear. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I had 6 of them, and like I said, they seem to take well when I transplant them. I don't think I'm gonna have a problem. There was one that had like a little tiny root, and it was this one right here, just so I'll remember. So if it dies, I'll know. I'll look at them in the next couple of days, and I'll probably cut these big leaves off and let them kind of start over. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to water the cardboard down generously. I do not believe I have enough enough mulch to do. I might want to change the spray. Enough mulch to do the actual mulch the entire bed, but I'm gonna see where it gets me. I have 5 bags, and then yeah, then we'll be done. So I'll see you all in a second. Good morning again, sunshines, and yes, good morning, because it is the next day. And so, like I knew when I started laying the mulch on yesterday, I knew that I didn't have enough mulch because I only purchased 5 bags. And so, as scarce or sparingly as I dropped it, I still needed more. And so I end up taking a break, grabbing food because I didn't eat. And I end up taking a trip to Lowe's to get some more mulch. And so I was able to finish the garden space because I wanted to present to you a final product. And I was eager to actually just tighten this up. I have many projects that I'm going to be working on for the upcoming season. And this season, this was not on my bucket list, but my husband had a great idea, and I'm glad that I went for it because I think it absolutely turned out great. I was able to get all the plants in. I actually grabbed some more plants out of that garden bed that I have perennials in that I have to start moving out, and I was able to add those. And so I think it absolutely looks so good. So let's take a closer look. So starting right here at the top of the extension, and we can distinguish that because the new mulch is in and you can see the difference. But I end up having put in sedum over here, and a couple of the stems fell off, so I just stuck them in the ground so I know that they will grow. So we have, I think there's like 4 there. Then we have the hydrangea, which is the summer crush that we put here. That was in part 1. We put that there. I came in and I put in lamb's ear at the front of this border. And so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lamb's ear. Everything is starting to perk up. because I did divide that lamb's ear. So I'm glad to see that this morning that everything is starting to perk up. This Weigela is here, is starting to perk up a bit. I think I told you all at the beginning that it was, you know, it was sad, and it still looks a little sad, but I think it's going to be fine. Then we have another summer crush hydrangea right here. And these hydrangeas, like this one has a bud, so maybe we'll get a bloom. And then we put another Weigelia in right here. And then down here is where we put our Japanese painted fern. Glad to see that that's perked up this morning. And then another summer crush hydrangea back there. And then in the front, all along the front of, after the Japanese painted fern, we have a stilby going all across, and that is a stilby that I split. And I know it looked harsh, but as you can see, every one of them have actually perked up, and I expect for them to continue to do that. Right behind this astilbe right here is a lungwort, and that's also perking up a bit. Then I grabbed a rhododendron, and this rhododendron gets two, I think it's 2x2, but I think it's very pretty. I'm thinking about actually grabbing another one. I like the color, the brightness of the green leaves, and then it will bloom, and it has its old blooms on it now, but it will bloom. It will bloom on pink, and then more astilbe. And then if you turn your attention here, this is where I went and got these plants out of that planter that I planted up with perennials. And so I had these hosta in here, and I had the sedum. And so I just went hosta, sedum down the aisle. And I took that hosta out, and I was able to actually, not the hosta, I didn't split the hosta, I only split the sedum. And so when we ain't turned back around, we have another hosta. This is one I just actually purchased, and I think it's so pretty. And then we have hostas over here that I actually divided and stuck them in the ground. So there's 4 of those hosta. That one right there, I did cut all the way back. And then back here, I stuck another sedum. And then we have coral bells. I think I told you all this was the guacamole coral bell, but I think I kept calling it a heuchera. And so it is a coral bell, but I think I've mentioned before that I use coral bell and heuchera interchangeable because I don't know, I just always forget. So I will probably come and cut some of the longer stems back. I'm just gonna, wait a couple of days before I cut some of the longer leaves back and just kind of tighten that plant up. And I know that they're gonna be okay. They've already perked up. And then of course we have the rhododendron in the corner, which I think looks absolutely good. And then right here is where I stuck the other rhododendron because it had a new bud on it and I didn't want to throw it out. So we'll see what it does. Right down here is when I told you all I found those 3 little ferns. I stuck them right down there. And so I'm hoping that they will grow, they will spread. And as you can see, we still have some planting space. And so I'm looking forward to plant a few more things, but as of now, it's pretty full. We kind of filled this out pretty well. And then of course I came in and I laid these stones to create a path so that we can land out. And so I think that it turned out great, and I'm so happy, and I can't wait to see everything fill in as it will so nicely. So thank you so much for watching this 2-part video. I hope you enjoyed this garden extension, and I really love it, and I think it just turned out beautiful. Thank you again for just being here, for watching the videos, for subscribing, leaving a comment, because I will type back, and thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you. If you haven't done those 3 things, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. Until next time, blessings. Bye.